Hey, it's Frank here with 4D Honeybee, and today we're going to check on all three hives. It's May 13th, and it's been a few weeks since I've been out here because mid-April we had a streak of 2 weeks of really good weather, and so I de-winterized the hives and got them ready. And then we had 2 weeks of really cold, really wet weather, and this is the first time we're going to have a stretch of weather again in the mid to high teens, mid to low 70s. And that's going to get the bees going right away. So I'm going to remove mite treatments. I'm going to add second honey supers as well. I'm going to work all these hives as single brood box hives. So we'll add honey supers on top because they probably, at least a couple hives need them right now. So I'll break it out into 3 videos, starting on my weak hive in the middle because it has yet to receive a hive treatment, a mite treatment, and it needs one right away. So bee numbers are down in that hive. I'm not worried about them swarming or going anywhere, but I am really worried about mites. So we'll get a mite treatment on there, see how they're doing, see if we can find the queen, and take it from there with 4D Honeybee. Okay, so for this hive, what I want to see and what I hope is that it has at least 6 frames of bees, thereabout. So this is the hive that I split late in the season, and it made it through winter, but just with a small 4-frame cluster of bees right up here. So I thought the colony was too weak to put in a mite treatment because it might kill it off. The queen was laying and she was doing fine. She is marked. And then I added another brood frame from another hive. So hopefully now there are enough bees here for a mite treatment, and that's really all I'm interested in doing for this hive. Hoping to see good bee numbers in here. All right, that's a good start. It's good to see a decent number of bees up top, always. Okay, looking for the queen here. Now, as I said, this queen is marked. And I think we do have a good number of bees in here. That is a solid hive. You know what? This hive needs another box. You can see there are bees all along all 10 frames, and they are needing a second box. So we will do the mite treatment on this hive, but we're also going to add a second box on it. All right, let's get these bees down a little bit. We will do a full inspection here and just make sure there's no swarming happening or about to happen. Very light frame. They're just starting to fill it up with nectar. And the thing is, I mean, everything has exploded just in the last few days. Dandelions, clover, fruit trees, regular trees. Farmers' crops really haven't started yet, but we're going to get into a massive honey flow here. So we want the queen to have lots of room to lay in this bottom box, and we want them to move all the nectar and honey up into the top box. Another frame, they're just starting to fill with honey and nectar. You see that? Lots of small, very young bees. So that's a good sign that the queen is right and laying, and those are all bees that have just hatched in the spring. Another very empty frame here. So very soon we'll be getting into brood because they're just basically filling all of these frames with nectar because they're on the outside. These are very well behaved today. I intended on not wearing gloves today, but because I was going to handle the mite treatment, I decided to go with the gloves. And here we see just a bit of brood that's hatching. On this side, same deal. And there's the queen, you see her? Very nicely marked right there. See if we can see her lay an egg or something. Very close to the edge of the frame, which makes me nervous, so I'm going to make sure we're over the box. Let's just watch the queen for a second here. There's a lot of nectar on this frame. There's some pollen, there's some larvae, and queen is probably depositing eggs. Very happy, very calm queen. So what I'm going to do is put her down against the next frame so that I know that she's not being messed with. And I'll skip this frame and move over to the next one. Just push these frames over a bit to give me a bit of room to work. Let's see if this one will just pull straight up. Yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, we should be seeing plenty of brood here, and we do. We even see some drone brood, which is always a good sign. Honey and nectar on the sides, brood in the middle. And plenty of it. Look at that. She's doing great. Okay, let's check a couple more frames at least. Just want to make sure there are no signs of swarming, but we're definitely going to put a second box on this hive because it is full. The one thing I don't have for this hive though is a queen excluder, but that's okay. Wow, look at the brood here. Wall to wall brood. Wow. Now it's really important that this hive get a mite treatment because there's just lots of larvae. Right? There's so much larva, and that's what the mites are really attracted to and really glob onto. So as those mites hatch out, I want to give them a fighting chance. Hey! Lokie! Lokie! Oh, Lokie! I was just assaulted by a Malamute. No, Lokie came in for a visit. He's my resident best buddy. I'll tell you, I think he's a wolf coming to get you. Okay, so no more for this box. I'm going to get a mite treatment on it, and I'm going to add a second box because this hive is doing very well. It has really rebounded incredibly well after, you know, barely making it through the winter. There were only this many bees, basically, that made it over winter, and now they're maybe quadrupled, quintupled. What, Lokie? What do you want, Lokie? Look at what I'm looking at here, folks. Tell me this doesn't scare you when it sneaks up on you in the woods. Hey, Lokie. Look at this guy. Lokie, you a good dog? You a good doggy? He never knows what to make of me when I'm wearing the suit. He's a very friendly dog. But the first time I was down here working bees and he snuck up on me and I hadn't met him before, he scared the bejeebers out of me. I thought I was being attacked by a wolf. Anyway, he's a sweet heart. I bet you any money he'll come down and say hello. Okay, so what do we got here? This frame is up here. This frame goes here. Sounds a lot meaner than he is. He is a sweet, sweet dog. Come on, Lokie. Come say hi. Come on. Okay, let's get these bees down a little bit, and we'll get a couple of mite treatments on them. We'll put a second brood box on them, and then we're laughing. I know, Lokie, I know. I didn't ask for permission. So normally I would put a queen excluder between here, but because these numbers were so low, I wasn't expecting that this hive would need another box so early. So we'll go without a queen excluder for the first few days. Shouldn't be a big deal. You can see I got 4 brand new frames in there. But I've got some frames of honey as well. So I'm gonna put those on the outside here so that they know that it's going to be a good place to be. So these are frames of honey that I took from these hives last fall. I didn't use them or consume them myself, but I've basically been feeding it back to them all winter and spring. Okay, so that's it for this hive. This is the Queen Elizabeth Hive, and it is doing spectacularly well, a lot better, at least twice the number of bees that I at best thought it might have. So that's really good. The bees are already up in the second box checking out that honey that I've given them. I will come back and put a queen excluder through because I want to keep the queen in the bottom box. What the bees will do is they'll take all the nectar and honey they've got in the bottom box and move it up to the top and leave that bottom box just for the queen to lay. So very happy that this hive made it through winter, and my plans for this hive are simply to keep it multiplying. It's doing really well. This hive is going to give honey, and it might even give us some splits, but for this hive, really the number one priority up to this point has just been survival. So thanks for joining me at 40 Honeybee.